laughter, I'm guessing laughter's probably a very important thing to keep
Yeah.
you going through your challenging moments, shall we say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think otherwise you'd go mad. But, just as a human being, I think that's always been a big value of mine. It's like, what is the point in living if you're not gonna have joy and laughter? I've always had it as a bit of, I used to say it quite often that it was one of my personal KPIs. How many times have I
Oh,
laughed
right.
today? Because actually, yeah, I used to think, right, at night, personal KPI needs to have at least 3 good belly laughs a day. Because, what's for me, what's the point in life if you're not having a really good time and it's not making you happy and giving you joy? And, if you get to the site, which obviously you know all of this, but when you start to look at the science behind laughing, it's so good for you, isn't it? It's so good for your physical well-being, for the chemistry in your body, in terms of like the chemicals it releases, that yeah, it makes it absolutely essential for me. My life's rubbish if I've not got laughter and joy
Yeah,
in it.
that's great. I love the fact that you had it as a KPI, because that might sound a bit too prescriptive, but I think actually that's a really good way of making sure that you're keeping a check on it, because I think sometimes you forget that you might not have laughed for 2 days and you're like, oh, hang on, what's going on here? And that's maybe an indicator of something else underlying it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not that I would force it to think, oh, I've only had 2 laughs today, I've still got one to get in the tank. But I would know, I'd be like, that's why I feel a little bit
Yeah.
flat. I feel a bit flat because today's not been fun. Today has not been fun. I haven't had a giggle. No one's shown me a funny video that's made me laugh my head off. I might even then say, like, one of the things that I used to do religiously. I don't so much now because I've removed the TV out my bedroom. But every night I would go to bed at 10 o'clock, and for half an hour I would watch an episode of Mock the Week on
Right.
Dave, because I would look. I find that program so funny, and I like to have that giggle before I went to bed. That was the state that I liked to fall asleep in, rather than worrying about the day or ruminating on things. I thought, I'm having a bit of comedy in my life before I go to sleep. And that was my ritual for years and years and years. I've watched those episodes over and over and over again. But it was important for me that was the last thing in my
Yeah.
day. Was that a
I love
laugh?
that. You're the first person to say that you've actually like scheduled some laughter in before bedtime to put you in a good state to go to sleep in. I really like that.
Yeah. Do you know what? You've made me think I could do with like putting some of that back in, but I don't want a TV in my room
No.
anymore. I've kind of stopped watching TV quite like even just in, don't really watch TV in the lounge anymore. But it was a big thing taking the TV out of the bedroom. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of alternative ways for me to get in a
Yeah.
quick giggle
Well, I was going
before
to say,
bedtime.
what makes you laugh? Like, do you watch any comedy now, or live comedy, or doesn't sound like you might have time?
Yeah, but I do. Do you know what? I was due to go to Peter Kay's gig in Manchester last week, but because the venue isn't ready, it's been
Yeah.
bumped a month. But so I love comedy like Peter Kay. I love all kind of comedy. I love Mickey Flanagan. I love everyone who's kind of been on Mock the Week. But do you know what makes me laugh the most? This is probably a bit mean, really. I love seeing grown-ups fall over.
Yeah.
So I love things like you. I love things like You've Been
Yeah.
Framed. I could watch episodes of You've Been Framed back to back, or most of my social media feed is full of daft animal videos or videos of people falling over, because that's the type of stuff that makes me
Yeah.
cry laughing.
You're not the
I just
first
love it.
person
I
to have
love
said
it, and I
that.
know it's a bit. I know I probably shouldn't laugh at people falling over, but it really gets me. I
Yeah.
love it. So
It's worse
yeah.
though when you see someone fall over in real life and then you've got to try and stifle your laughter because you're like, oh, because you feel their embarrassment, and then because as a person who falls over quite a lot, not so much now. Stop drinking, but not sure what the correlation is there. Uh, but yeah, you see it in real life, and you're like, "Oh, that was really funny," but I can't laugh. And then that makes you laugh more when you can't laugh.
I know it's that thing where I have one hand to try and hold my lips together, and the other hand has to go in between my legs to stop myself from
Yeah,
weeing.
yeah, get into that age.
And I know that sounds terrible. I'm sure that will resonate with lots and lots of people. It was funny. We had some family to stay with us a couple of weeks ago. They'd come down from Scotland. My husband's family's Scottish. We took them out for a walk in the woods, and it got quite muddy. So a few of them tried to take a shortcut down a steep incline, and one of the women fell. She was trying to hold onto a tree, and the tree snapped, and she fell. And it was funny. We all fell about laughing our heads off. We were laughing that much we couldn't help but get up off the floor. Anyway, she was really bad that night. Really, her back was really sore. She actually went to the hospital the next day, and she's fractured her spine in three
Oh my god!
places. And I feel really bad for laughing now, but we still laugh.
Well, you weren't to know in the circumstances here, but oh god,
We, we,
oh dear. So moving swiftly on from that, then, do you have a favourite joke other than people falling over?
oh, Mary.
If I put you on the spot now.
Oh, do you know what? Tell you what, I'm rubbish with jokes. I'm rubbish at telling them. I always end up giving the punchline away before I'm supposed to. And 9 times out of 10, I don't get jokes that other people
Right.
tell me.
Okay.
I can't even think of one. Do you know what? I might come back with one in a bit. While we're chatting, if I think of one, I might
Okay.
come
Well,
back
well,
with a
your
corker
story
in a
can
bit.
count as your
Before we
joke.
finish, I'll be like,